Hi, and welcome to your Revlon Insta Filter Foundation Matching Beauty Spotlight Training. Today we're going to go over everything you need to know to be confident at your event. We're going to go over product information, operations, and sales. As a reminder, this event is on Saturday, April 28th from 12 to 4 p.m. local time. So you will have a product guide attached to this training that shows you exactly how to set up your table for the event. It will also list out all the demo products you'll have available. Once you've completed this training, it will be important to review the product guide and become comfortable with it, as we want to ensure all demo stores look consistent and uniform on their event tables. To locate your sellable stock for the event, the first thing you want to do is start by asking your LOD to pull all event inventory from the back and share with them the DPCI codes. You'll have a list of the DPCI codes on your product guide attached to this training. You can pull products from the shelves if needed. If you're having any trouble locating your products, ask your LOD or a Target team member to check their system to identify if they have the items in store. So before we jump into product training, let's talk a little bit about why we're in store. Number one, our first goal is to increase daily sales of the featured products at this event. At the end of the day, our overall success is measured by sales, so we need to make sure that everyone in aisle is effective and consistent on delivering against that goal. Our second goal is to educate and excite Target guests about the event's featured brand. Guests shop at Target for the store's expect more, pay less promise, and our service really elevates their shopping experiences so Target becomes their preferred beauty destination. Additionally, we want to create repeat customers who will come back to Target to stock up again on their new favorite items. And finally, we want to make sure guests are aware of the Beauty Concierge program, what it is, how it benefits them, and how they can utilize it. So at this event, we'll be demoing Revlon's new Color Stay Insta Filter Photo Ready Foundation. This event is exciting because it'll provide an elevated, premium, and personalized experience for guests because you'll be assisting them in finding their best shade match in aisle. You will have a sales goal for this event. Your sales goal is 5 demo products per hour, which is a total of 20 total sales. While this goal is your personal goal, please do not share this goal with guests. And even if you don't hit your sales goal, please make sure you're tallying your sales numbers so we can track it accurately. So you'll want to count how many baskets converted to final purchase while calculating your total sales, and keep the tallies for your end of event mission report. Please do keep in mind that we do count total sales per store with Target, so try and keep this number as accurate as possible, even if you did not hit your sales goal. Inviting a guest into a consultation is going to be the most important step at your event in creating a successful event and demonstration experience. Often Target guests are going to be shopping in a hurry and like to grab their items quickly, so because of this, your invite should be quick and intriguing and should alert the guest what the event is and how it can benefit them. Don't forget to highlight that your services are free. We came up with 3 example invites that you can use. Feel free to use these, customize them, or create your own. So our examples are, I'm showing guests how to get Instagram ready skin in seconds with Revlon's new foundation. Come get shade matched. Or, when is the last time you updated your foundation? I can help you find your new favorite shade today for free. Or, I'm showing guests how to blur imperfections in seconds with Revlon's new foundation. Let's find your shade. So now let's talk about how to start a demo with a guest. Once you've intrigued a guest through your invite, you'll want to use open-ended questions to discover your guest's needs and concerns. Once you've identified your guest's needs and concerns, this will help you better tailor your demonstration experience for them. You'll also want to identify your guest's desired makeup look and overall beauty goals. Discover what your guest currently likes or dislikes about their makeup regimen. What do they not like about their current foundation, or what do they like? What products are missing from from their foundation regimen or how can it be optimized. And finally, through open-ended questions, you also want to discover how much time a guest is willing to spend on their makeup routine. The great thing about this Revlon Insta Filter foundation is it's super easy to use, so even if a guest is in a time crunch, they'll still love this product. So let's talk more about open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that do not end in a yes or no answer. These are important because they'll help you better understand your guest's needs and beauty goals so you can better personalize the consultation and the demo experience. Here are a few examples. Again, feel free to use these, customize them, or come up with your own. What type of foundation coverage are you looking for? What foundation are you currently using? Or what is your biggest concern when it comes to foundation and concealing? So now for our demo item. Our demo product for this event is the Revlon Insta Filter Photo Ready Foundation. This is a new product. To start the demo experience, you always want to sanitize your hands before and after every guest interaction, and then show the guest the product you're using prior to the demo experience. Next, you'll want to select 1 to 2 shades that best match your guest's skin tone from your demo product array. It's important to select 2 because we want to make sure we find a match that fits them. Next, twist the bottom of the foundation cap until the product appears on the applicator sponge. Then, using your provided applicator, swipe the product off the sponge tip with your applicator and apply the selected shades to your guest's neck or chin. It's important to apply it to the neck or chin as these match the face most closely. Most guests will probably be wearing foundation already in aisle, so it's important to match on their neck or chin. Remember to only use your applicators. Do not apply the sponge physically to guest skin. Always use the applicator. You'll also never want to allow a used applicator to touch the sponge. Always grab a new one if you need more color. If the guest is not wearing foundation and they have requested to try it on their face, they may. Just make sure they're using an applicator. Here's a tip, don't apply any makeup on top of other makeup. So if your guest is wearing foundation, always shade swatch on the guest's neck or chin. If they prefer the inside of their wrist, you can do that as well. Once you've applied both shades, identify which shade best matches your guest's skin tone. If both match really well, opt for the lighter shade. This is because your guests can always make the shade a little darker with bronzer, but they can't make it lighter. Once you've identified a shade that's perfect for them, encourage the guest to add the foundation to their basket. So here are a few foundation matching tips to make your demo experience go smoothly. Again, you always want to select 1 to 2 shades you think will best match your guests for shade swatching. Don't just choose one. If both of your selected shades match your guest, opt for the lighter shade. If no foundation matches your guest, you can refer them to the beauty concierge for a broader Revlon conversation. There they can find a foundation match and a different foundation from the brand. You'll always want to shade match on the guest's chin, neck, or chest for best color accuracy. Again, you want to make sure you're always demoing a foundation on bare skin. So here's a little bit more about our Revlon Insta Filter foundation. This is a liquid foundation that creates a fresh-faced natural finish. It's really ideal for guests looking to create a fresh Instagram-ready face. It features a unique built-in blender, as you can see on the right, that makes application and blending super easy and fast. It features an innovative formula that works with guest skin type to even and smooth their appearance, and it features a medium buildable coverage. It has a high-definition filter technology that captures and transforms any light to help blur and soften skin's flaws. It also has all-day wear and provides SPF 20 protection to protect skin from sun damage. While you won't be able to physically apply the product sponge to guests during the demo experience, you'll be using the applicators. You can provide some at-home application tips. So the first thing your guest wants to do at home is twist the bottom of the bottle until the product appears on the sponge applicator. Then dab the sponge directly onto skin, focusing on problem areas. And then using circular motions, blend the makeup into the skin using the sponge applicator, as you can see on the right. And then you're done. So once you've gone through the demo experience, you want to ask for the purchase and encourage the guest to add the Revlon product to their basket. During this step, you want to reaffirm why the product makes sense for their concerns and beauty goals. During this step, you want to, of course, be confident yet not pushy, and you can use closing statements to help secure the sale. We know that some guests may teeter on adding a product to their basket, whether they are in a rush or simply cannot decide. You can help them add the product to their basket with a few phrases that will show them they need the Revlon foundation in their regimen. So here are a few examples of what we call closing statements. Of course, feel free to personalize these or make up your own. So one is, this Revlon Insta Filter shade matches you perfectly. Let's add this to your cart. Or, I'm so glad we found you a shade match with the Revlon Insta Filter foundation. I recommend adding this to your regimen today so you can get flawless skin instantly. Or, this foundation matches you perfectly. Let's add one to your cart before we sell out. Sometimes guests will have objections, and most likely they're going to come up as you try to secure the sale during your transact step. We've identified the two most common objections you'll hear for this product and ways to overcome them. Of course, be prepared to overcome other objections in aisle as well. So your guests might say something like, I didn't find a foundation that matches me. None of them match my skin tone. I don't want to purchase it. You can overcome the objection by saying something like, our beauty concierge Tina will be more than happy to help you find a shade in a different Revlon foundation formula that works for you. And then you can toss that guest over to the beauty concierge. Your guests also might say something like, I'm happy with my current foundation and I don't want to change it. You can overcome the objection by saying, I'm glad you like your current foundation, but you also mentioned you struggle with reapplication during the day. This foundation by Revlon provides all-day coverage, so there will be no more midday touch-ups. I think you'll love it. Let's find your shade. So for that particular objection, during the demo experience and your consultation, you want to listen for the guest's concerns. That way, if they have an objection, you can bring up that concern later and identify why the Revlon demo product identifies their concerns. Even if the guest did not add a product to their basket, or if they did, you want to thank them for their time with you that day, and don't forget to smile. Next, you'll want to direct the guests to where they can find the beauty concierge so they can continue a broader conversation and build a more complete Revlon regimen. This is especially relevant for guests who did not find their shade match with the Revlon Insta Filter foundation. So we're going to go over operations and sales next, but here's a quick recap. You'll want to aim to add it to the basket every hour to help hit your sales goals. So remember, you'll need to sell 5 products per hour to equal 20 total demo products for your event. Remember to track your progress during and after the event so we can use it to add up sales progress with Target. You'll want to proactively engage with guests during the event. Remember, the more guests you speak to, the higher your sales will be. And you'll always want to transact by closing the sale and encouraging all guests to purchase the demo product they tried with you that day. So now we are going on to our sales training. We're going to go through our added sales process. This process will help you successfully meet your sales goal for the event. ADIT stands for Approach, Demo, Impress, and Transact. We'll go over each of these steps individually. So step 1 is to approach. Think about your own shopping experiences at Target or any retailer. We know that guests come into store to pick up specific items on their list, and most guests are not just casually wandering around. So that means you can't wait for guests to come to you. You have to use a compelling invite to pull a guest in. Standing behind the counter isn't going to help you reach your sales goal. So be proactive by inviting guests into the demo footprint and greeting guests walking by in the main racetrack. Get their attention by walking up to them and introducing yourself and quickly explaining the event. Remember, guests will be in a rush, so quickly explain the event and catch their interest. Overall, you want to be in front of your counter and use open body language to make yourself seem approachable, friendly, and trustworthy. Once you've pulled a guest into a consultation, your next step is to demo. Of course, you want to use open-ended questions before your demo experience to identify your guests' beauty goals and concerns. Once you've started your demo experience, remember to always keep hand sanitized before and after every interaction, and always show the guests the product you're using before a demonstration. You'll also remember to follow specific demo guidelines in your product training that you just received. Our next step is to impress. While you're demoing, you can move on to this step, which is to impress the guest about the product. Doing this step while you're demoing will help the consultation go quickly so you can talk to more guests and have a better chance of hitting your sales goal. During this step, this is your chance to share your product knowledge with an awesome pitch. You'll want to center your pitch around the benefit to the guest. So think about, what problem does the product solve? How do the key ingredients or key features lead to results? And what makes this product a unique product and a must-have? Make sure you're exuding passion and enthusiasm. Remember, no one wants to buy from someone who sounds bored or isn't passionate about the product themselves. So there are 4 elements of a great pitch, and these steps will help you add it to the basket every single time so you can hit your sales goal. The 4 elements are: make it personal, state the problem and solution, demonstrate expertise, and gain agreement. We'll go over each of these individually. So the first is make it personal. Guests are more likely to trust personal endorsements rather than advertisements or general sales pitches. So during the make it personal pitch, you want to talk about why you like the product or share your own personal experience. Be careful here, though, you don't want to lie. If you've never used the product before, find something about it that you truly like during the demo experience, like the texture, the color payoff, etc. Be honest and share your genuine opinion. So here we make it personal by saying, personally, I found that other full coverage foundations leave my skin heavy and sticky. This foundation from Revlon perfects skin tone instantly and creates a fresh face without that cakey feeling. I think you'll love it. Our next step of our great pitch elements are state the problem and solution. Here you'll want to identify your guest's problem and help them understand why the product will address their concerns and solve it. So we state the problem and solution here by saying, you mentioned that you have trouble blending your foundation and making it look natural. This foundation from Revlon is different because it features a built-in sponge blender, which will help you create flawless skin in seconds. No more streaks. So now that we know the problem and solution, during the demonstrate expertise step, you'll want to explain why or how this product leads to the solution. This is your chance to establish yourself as an expert and build credibility. Focus on what makes the product unique or any key features. So here we demonstrate expertise by saying, unlike other foundations, this makeup features a built-in applicator that buffs makeup into skin perfectly. Plus it makes for easy on-the-go use. This is one of the very few foundations in the market that does have a built-in applicator, so it's definitely something you want to emphasize to guests during your demo experience. At the end of the pitch, you want to get the guest to agree with you on something small about the product. It's easiest to do this by asking them something about the demo with a positive frame of mind that sets them up for agreement. So during the gain agreement step, we gain agreement by saying, look at this Revlon Insta Filter shade swatch. Doesn't it match your skin perfectly? And of course, our final step in the added sales process is to transact. As we went over before in our product training, here you want to ask for the purchase and encourage the guest to add the demo product to their basket. You'll also want to ensure the guest feels confident in applying the product at home to achieve optimal results. So you'll want to share those application tips we went over earlier with your guest. And that is it for our sales training. We'll move on to our last portion of the training today, which is operational. We'll talk about everything you need to know before, during, and after the event. So the first thing we'll talk about is uniform. As you're prepping your uniform for the event, there are a few things you want to think about. During the event, you'll want to evoke a trendy, aspirational vibe. So some things to think about as you're planning are solid black top, bottom, and closed-toed shoes. So think flats or ballet flats. Simple yet trendy makeup, maybe a simple down or up to hairstyle, and clean or cleanly polished fingernails. Some things you want to avoid are sweatshirts and hoodies, ripped faded styles, or featuring visible tattoos or more than 3 earrings or 1 facial piercing during the event. Super important, you'll want to grab your beauty spotlight button from your event kit and place it on the top right of your beauty spotlight apron prior to the event. You'll want to arrive 30 minutes early for setup, so arrive at 11:30. And the first thing you'll want to do is introduce yourself to the beauty concierge. He or she will be able to help you the most out of anything. Have the beauty concierge then introduce you to the leader on duty and ask them for help if you need any additional event product inventory from the back room. Find in the back room as well your beauty counter, beauty supply kit, and merchandising kit for this week's event. Again, you'll want to remind your LOD to pull all inventory from the back and count your inventory on the shelf specific to the event and record it in your event report. There will be a couple different tables across event stores, so some stores may look a little differently than others. Sunflower sampling tables and beauty concierge counters are reserved prior to the event with Sunflower and Target Corp. So if you have one of these tables, you will be ready to go. Select locations will have a temporary corrugated table. So these will arrive in a flat cardboard box with your event materials. It will be important to pop this together prior to merchandising your table. So give yourself a little extra time if you know you have a location with a corrugated table. During the event, make sure you're communicating enthusiasm, passion, and expertise. It's your job to invite guests into the demo station, get them excited about the product, and help them test it. Remember, be in front of your demo station, demoing or inviting guests in at all times. If a guest has any questions about who you work for, you can refer them to the beautifulyou@brainconnections.com email, and they can ask that email any questions they have about the event or the staffing agency. Sanitation is always a big part of our events. It will be important to make sure you're sanitizing your hands before and after every interaction with guests. And remember to always use applicators while you're demoing products on guests. So will we not actually be demoing the foundation tip on guests' face? We will only be using the applicators. All open beauty products, including your open demo products and hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies, if they're completely used, cannot be thrown in the regular trash. You'll want to ask guest services for your ESIM bags prior to the event for proper disposal. During the event, you'll want to bag any open beauty products that were completely used during the event and then throw them in the ESIM bin. Again, used beauty products or completely used hand sanitizer and cleaning products cannot be thrown in the regular trash. However, used applicators can. So breakdown of the event begins at 4 p.m. You want to pack all your beauty counter supplies back into your supply bin and return it to the return your beauty counter and beauty supply kit to the designation location in Target. You can ask your LOD where this location is. You'll also want to dispose of all of your used and empty makeup products, including your empty sanitizer bottles using Target's ESIM process, and make sure all of your used applicators have been thrown out in the regular trash. As you're checking out, please be sure to complete your in-store event report and share any top photos you have. Please note any event highlights or feedback you have or feedback you got from guests. We take this feedback very seriously. Remember to track your sales. Write down your end sales for the event. Remember, your sales goal is 20 total demo products, so that's 5 products per hour. Again, please be sure to mark your sales accurately. Even if you didn't hit your 20 total sales goal, that's totally fine. And that is all we have for you. So next step, go ahead and take your Revlon Beauty Spotlight in-store event quiz and review any questions you may have gotten wrong. Then prepare to be in store by 11:30 on April 28th. We'll see you there.